Hey y'all, it's Cassandra with Pecan Porch Boutique, and I'm here with another video for you guys. And this one, y'all, is a true trash to treasure. This lady was getting rid of these doors, and I think they were a pair of French doors. One had glass and one did not, and she was just going to trash them. And I cannot let free be, so I grabbed them. So we're going to be upcycling these doors today. So they did already have paint on them, but I was so happy, y'all, that the glass was not broken in any way, not one crack. And so they painted the glass. So here I am now. I'm just taking my scraper and I'm scraping along the paint so as to take it off of the glass. And then I'm just going to clean it up, pick up all the little paint shavings that I scraped off, and then I'll clean the glass really good, and then we will go from there. And I honestly used to not mind, y'all, scraping paint. You know, if you get a little paint on glass, just scraping it off. But after that scraping, it was kind of hard to get that paint off. And plus my blade wasn't the sharpest. So I decided this time I was going to tape it off around there. I wasn't even going to scrape back my paint anymore. So I taped it off, and now I'm using DIY's Cowgirl Coral. I love this coral color, y'all. It is so pretty. So I am going to give both the front and the back side one coat of this Cowgirl Coral because we're going to be doing something extra. So before I started painting and before I actually started cleaning the glass, I did take this piece out and I cleaned it all up because it was sitting out under my carport, and so it was really, really dusty. And I also gave it 2 coats of shellac. So that's kind of why you see that sheen on there, because I did give it 2 coats of shellac. So once I get this Cowgirl Coral color on the front, just 1 coat, I'm going to paint this panel. There's a panel at the bottom on both the front and the back side, and I am going to give that 2 coats of DIY's mint chip. And so that's what you see me doing here. And I'm not adding texture to this, but because that part of the door is so flat, I am taking my brush and I'm just kind of going back and forth in different directions, and that really adds a little bit of texture to a flat space. Okay, y'all, so now here comes some of the fun part. So we are going to be doing a mirror effect on the back side of this door. So I flipped it over. I've made sure that the glass is really clean. I've taken my tape and kind of stood it up around the glass to kind of make a little bit of a wall. Ideally, you would want to do this outside if at all possible. But when I was working on this, the day wasn't a good day for me to be outside. It was really windy. But I do have on my mask and I do have the windows open. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that vinegar and water mixture, it's half and half, and I am just going to start spraying it along the glass. And then once I have that sprayed, then I am going to take my mirror effect spray and I'm going to spray that on top of that vinegar water mixture. And then you can take a hair dryer or a heating tool and it will dry the mirror effect, but it won't dry the vinegar and water. And it kind of helps a little bit to kind of speed it up if you want to. So that's what I'm doing here. And once I'm done with that, I'm just going to take a shop towel and I'm just going to kind of fold it up, and then I'm going to dab that vinegar back from that mirror effect spray. And it is really kind of cool, y'all, to watch this plain glass go from glass to mirror. I mean, it's kind of like pretty, wow, inspiring. I'm like, oh, look, I can see myself. So I just keep dabbing back this vinegar water mixture, and then I repeat that process. So once I'm through dabbing back this one on this first pass, then I start that process all over again. I spray my vinegar and water, and once I get that sprayed, I come back with the mirror effect spray, and I spray that again, and then I start to dab it off. And you can do that as many times as you like to get the mirror effect that you want. Of course, the more times you do it, the more mirror you get. So I think I did it 3 times, and I could actually, see myself now inside this glass. So it's a really nice process. If you haven't tried it, you really should try it. But again, I suggest that you do it outside if at all possible, because it really doesn't smell that good. But I really had a fun time doing it. So I think this was like my 3rd time here, and I'm just dabbing back that vinegar and water again and watching that mirror come to life. Okay, so once that's done on the back side, I flip it back over to the front side, and I'm going to add some artificial crackle, y'all. I'm going to use a 1-step crackle. This is by Little Birdie, and I think I got this off Amazon or something. I have a couple of these little bottles somewhere. And so I am just going to take this crackle, I put it in a little cup, and it's really thick, and I'm just going to take a tiny brush, and I'm going to start brushing it all over the front side. I actually did both sides, but right now I'm working on the front side. So I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to brush it all over the front side of this door. And the thicker you brush it on, the bigger the crackle is going to be. The thinner you brush it on, the thinner your crackle is going to be. And also, the thicker you brush it on, the longer it's going to take to dry. So at first I started and I thought I'm just going to skip around, and I'm just going to do it in a few places, and I'm going to not do it in some places. And then I thought, no, I'm just going to do the whole door. So I am just putting this all over the door. It's dry. Of course, the paint has been dried. And so I'm just going to put it all over now and get ready to start the crackle effect. Okay, so now I have let that crackle fully dry. You want to make sure that it's completely dry. And then you want to come back with a contrasting color. And I chose DIY's Gypsy Green. So I'm coming back in with the Gypsy Green now on top of that dried crackle. But the one thing about putting the contrasting color on top of the crackle is you cannot go back and forth with your brush. You kind of have to take one long swipe at it, and then that's it. Because if you try to brush back and forth, it'll peel it up. It'll peel the paint right off. It'll just kind of curl up. But I did do that on purpose in some places because I'm wanting this to look like an old door. So, but for the most part, you just take your brush, your contrasting color, and you just kind of brush in one long swipe and leave it at that. Because again, if you can't go back and forth, and of course that's the tendency, you want to go back and forth because that's what you do with a paintbrush, but you cannot do that when you're working on top of this crackle. Now this part, y'all, was a really fun experiment. I did not know if this was going to work or not, but for you guys that have watched me for any length of time, You guys know I'm a rebel. I'll try something. And if it goes wrong, it goes wrong, like in public. So, my mistakes you can learn from. So I decided that I'm going to do an inlay in the center of this door. And I'm on the front side, again, because the mirror effect is on the back side. So I am using IOD's Paradise inlay, and I am going to just lay that down just like I would if I were laying it on wood, and I'm using DIY's liquid patina. So once I get my liquid patina laid down, I am just going to lay the inlay back into my liquid patina with the grid side up, the paint side down, and I'm just going to smooth it down with my hands, making sure that I get the liquid patina under the edges, and I'm just going to work in sections. So when I'm done with that section, I'll lift up the inlay, I'll lay down more liquid patina, I'll lay it back into the liquid patina, and I'll press it down with my hand. And I'm going to continue doing that until I get to the bottom of the door. And I'm just starting right now with 2 of the sheets from the inlay, but I will fill in that entire door with this inlay, Paradise inlay from IOD. And someone may have already done this, and someone may already know that yes, you can lay inlays on glass, but I didn't. So I wanted to try it, and I wanted to try it with the glass not being painted. I wanted to try laying an inlay onto glass just by using a top coat. So that's what we're experimenting with right now, and I want you guys to see the outcome. So once I get these laid down into my liquid patina, I'm just going to take my baby wipe and I'm going to really press down and smooth these inlays into that liquid patina, and then I'm just going to clean up that excess around them. I think for me, this is what makes crafting fun, is experimenting and getting outside your box and trying new things that you haven't tried and making mistakes. I think that's how we learn. Now right here you can really see that mirror effect before I put this liquid patina over it. You can actually see my camera at the top filming, and of course you can see me. So that mirror effect really did work well. Okay, so once the inlay was dry to touch, and again, when you are laying the inlay down using a top coat or some kind of water-based medium, you don't want to let it dry too long. But I actually think that I covered this with too much water. I don't know, but you'll see as I start to pull it off at the top anyway. I didn't really get a good impression. So can you guys see that right there? Not a good impression. But as I continue to pull down, the inlay laid in, it really did transfer onto that glass, and it came out really, really pretty. So I don't really know what happened just at the top. Maybe I didn't press down hard enough when I was laying it down. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't like it. And so here I am. I'm coming in with my scraper and I'm just going to scrape it away while it's still kind of wet. So I'm just going to take it back because what I end up doing is I end up redoing it. So I end up laying down more liquid patina and actually doing another inlay. And you can see here that I'm scraping at the bottom, even though I really did get a good imprint at the bottom. But I'm wanting to take away those straight edges because I had to lay the paper one under another. So it kind of looks like, you know, there's these spaces in between and it kind of looked really blocky and square. So I'm using my scraper to kind of cut in from the sides to take away that straight edge look and make it look more like it was hand painted and not laid down. So now here I go back at the top where I scraped most of that away when it was wet. And here I am again. I'm just going to lay down more liquid patina and I'm going to add more of the inlay that I just kind of cut off a piece. And I'm just going to lay it there. And then right underneath that, I'm going to lay another piece. And then I do end up putting a piece at the top and down at the very bottom so that the entire door is covered. And I have to say that not all of the inlay was scraped away. So as I'm putting down these sheets, I'm actually covering up some of the inlay that was already there. But you'll see how that comes out in the end. It actually worked out. And so again, once this is dry to touch, I start to peel it off. The thing that I did differently here though is I didn't add any water. It wasn't dry, so I was just able to grab it by the corners and peel it up. And I got a beautiful impression, y'all. Look at this. It really came out a lot better than I thought it would. And at the bottom as well, you'll kind of be able to see a little bit better here at the bottom. I'm just going to, I kind of touched it again to make sure that it was dry enough. And then I just peeled it back and look how pretty that came out. So I didn't even use water on it this time. I don't really think I had to use water the first time, but it came out really, really pretty. Okay, so here I am again with my blade and I am just cutting into the inlay, y'all. I am just trying to get rid of that square type look. And the inlay is dry now and it's very dry. So I'm just kind of going in and I'm just kind of cutting into different places, cutting away some of the inlay in different places so that I don't have those squares or rectangles from where I actually laid the inlays down and then I laid one underneath that. I didn't want to leave those blocks there. So by cutting into the inlay in different places, it kind of gives it the look that it was hand painted on. And you really can't tell that I laid the inlay one under another. So you can see here I'm just kind of cutting in here and there, really no rhyme or reason. I just want to make sure that when you look at it, you're not able to tell that I just kind of individually laid these on. You can really see it at the bottom here where I get rid of that straight line. And so that kind of gives you an idea of maybe, I guess I'm explaining it well, what I was trying to do. So I'm just going to clean up my mess and we are almost done, y'all. Okay, so now I've flipped it over. I've gotten it back on the back side. And I've seen other creators take black spray paint once they've done their mirror effect and it's all dry. And they will spray paint the mirror effect black. Well, I didn't want to spray paint anymore. I've had my share of spraying in the house and I couldn't take it outside. So I had this piece of poster board that I got from the Dollar Tree or Dollar Store. And I am just going to kind of cut that to fit. And I'm going to lay that into the back side on top of that mirror effect. And I will get the same result, I think, because you want to put something dark up against it so that you can't, it just gives the mirror effect a better, the mirror effect looks better when it has a darker background. So I'm going to use this poster board and I'm going to get that same effect. So I'm just going to trim off the poster board and kind of get it to fit. And I made me a little template, y'all. I'm so proud of myself. I made a little template with some typing paper to kind of mimic that scallop at the top of the door. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just laying it up against the poster board and I'm going to trim out that little template so that it fits underneath that part at the top of the door. So I got this little framing tool because I saw a couple of other creators using it. And I thought, oh, that would be nice to do. I didn't know what I was going to use it for, y'all. I just do that sometimes. I mean, you can never have too many craft supplies, right? But it actually came in handy. So I'm taking this little framing tool and I'm just pressing it up against the edge of the door. And it shoots out these little tiny brad little things that will hold this paper in. So that's what you see me doing here, and I'm just going to go all around and I'm just going to add those little I don't even know what you call them, the little things that come out of this little framing tool. And I'm just going to add those all around so that I can keep that poster board onto the back of this door. And even though the glass is really long in this door, I ended up using only one poster board because I did the patchwork thing, y'all. That's what you see me doing here. I'm just trimming out now and I'm just going to patch in the rest of that. And I'm going to actually use some tape where I'm kind of patching it into just to make sure it stays. But it worked out, just one poster board. So that's what you see me doing here. I'm just trimming it to fit, and then I'll add some tape to the bottom, or add some tape to the places where it's not a whole sheet, just to make sure that it stays in place. Okay, y'all, we are on the almost on the tail end of this project. So I wanted to put something in that flat panel part on the front side of the door. So I used my Silhouette Cameo and I made a sign for a stencil that says the old pantry door established in 1865. And I just made that up. But I wanted something, and I love adding typography, so I wanted something to be in that that flat part of the door at the bottom. So that's what I came up with. So I've already laid my vinyl down and I've added my tape to the top, and now I'm just peeling my tape back so that I can actually do my stencil because I've already weeded it. You can actually see the words there. And so once I get my tape off, then I'm going to come in with a little bit of DIY's Little Black Dress. And I am going to, with a little stencil brush, just stencil over those letters so that I can get that typography onto that bottom part of the door. I think that just added so much character to it. It really turned out pretty, y'all. So once I am done with this part, this is the last of it, but I just want to let you guys know that I did go back and I sealed all of the painted surfaces with DIY's liquid patina. And then I came back in with some Sweet Pickins dark oil wax to actually pull out some of that crackle. And it really turned out pretty. I hope you guys like it too. And if you guys are interested in anything that I used in this video today, you can take a look around on my website. It's www.pecanporchboutique.com. So now I've got everything all stenciled on with my little black dress, and now it's time to start peeling the vinyl back. And y'all, I always struggle with this because it seems like I'm gonna lose pieces of the letters in this vinyl as I peel it back, because I've done that before. So you'll see that I kind of start in one corner, but I really can't make the T out in the word the. So I think, okay, let me just start over on this other corner and just start peeling back there. But I just start peeling up that vinyl, peeling it back, and trying to separate it from the actual words. And so that's what you see me doing here. I peel away some chunks, and then I'll have to go back with my weeding tool and pick out some of the other vinyl that's left, like in the middle of the letters, you know, maybe an O and it has the middle part. So I'll have to weed out all those. And it does take some time. You kind of want to go slow, because the last thing you want to do is lose a piece of your lettering inside this big ball of vinyl, because you'll never find it and you'll have to do it all over again. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of going slow, just kind of trying to pick at the vinyl, pick it away from the letters, and just keep moving so that I can actually reveal every word. So once I got this all weeded out, I kind of scuffed it up some because I wanted it to look old as well. And then I gave it some of that Sweet Pickins dark oil wax too. But I also added one of the IOD molds from the Lock and Key. I didn't show myself doing that in the video, but you'll see that in the reveal. But this door is done, y'all. I had so much fun doing it, and I really love how it turned out, and I hope you guys do too. So here we go. Let's take a look back at what we started with. It was just a plain door. It just needed some love. I thought it had good bones, and so we recreated it, you know, just creating something different and something new. And so let's take a look at what we have come up with. Oh my gosh, look at that crackle, y'all. You can see that cowgirl coral behind it, and this inlay went on perfectly, y'all. In the end, it went on perfectly. I love how this turned out. Now, I won't seal this inlay because you really don't have to seal on glass. You know, sealing is just for porous surfaces. But if there were paint behind it, I would seal it. But since there's no paint, I'm not going to seal it. It's on really, really well. It's hard. And if you wanted to clean it, you would just take maybe a duster and just kind of go over it with the duster. But look how pretty this turned out, y'all. So yes, you can transfer inlays onto glass. I really hope you guys like this video, and I hope that you like the result of this old door. I love it. I thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me. I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share it with a friend if you think someone may be interested, and I would really love if you would think about subscribing to my channel. Until next time, don't forget to bud, bloom, and be unique. Bye for now.